We believe that we need to take the ability of the Budget and Control Board to simply do across-the-board cuts off the table. Democrats believe that it is our responsibility to make targeted cuts when we have revenue shortfalls. For a long time, you know, this year, we left in June, and we were $320 million out of balance by
so
July.
Automatically you have to just wipe out X amount of dollars from a state agency, but you're not completely
it's
against
across the
targeted
board.
cuts, are you?
No, and it's not that we're against targeted cuts. The problem becomes, what we'll have to work through is how do you get that to happen? It takes us about 5 months to write the budget. By the time it goes through the full House, the full Senate, and gets back up.
But a lot of that happens in the last month.
Well, some of it happens in the last month, but I mean, truly, I mean, you go get the state document, the budget hearings that we both are privy to and that we both participate in fully. I mean, we've been meeting for several weeks now, every single day that we're in session, that we're meeting. We're having agencies come before us to explain to us how the budget cuts will affect them. But the problem is this: if we don't respond quickly when we have revenue shortfalls, then our bond is going to be affected by that. If we have to, what we have to do is work through the specifics of what Harry's talking about. It's not in principle that we don't support that, because we do. But the particulars of how do you accomplish that? How do you get 170 members to agree to whatever the targeted cuts are? You can do it, but you have to come back into session, and we'll have to deal with those issues, because the only way that the Budget Control Board provisions really kick in is whenever, typically was when we're out of session. That's typically whenever these things happen. But it's not that we're against it. It is what are the particular parameters around that to really make that process work so that you don't stalemate. If you stalemate, then the agencies are still spending, they're not being cut, and they have the ability to spend their budget, can get you in a worse problem than what is happening now, which is a requirement that when the revenues drop, they have to make these cuts. That protects our bond rating. And so whatever we do in regards to what Harry's talking about, we need to make sure that it protects our bond rating and that we have something in place so that we can't lock into a stalemate and not have any budget cuts because we're arguing about which ones to make whenever revenues have dropped off. That's what's protected us in the past. It's not that we can't do it better. It's that we have to make sure we have those protections in place.
If I might, though.
Very quickly.
To follow up, talking about restructuring, if we restructure the way we predict how much money is going to be in the budget, we can do a better job. There's no excuse for the BEA to miss $1.2 billion in a projection. That's unacceptable. There's no reason they should be allowed to miss it $320 million in 30 days.
Well, that's
We've got to restructure the way we predict what our revenue stream is, and then put mechanisms in place to save money so that when those rainy days come, we've got money, and then we don't have to come back in the session.
Nice to see you guys in agreement on a subject there.